What it do, YouTube? Miles here. Back for another reaction video. We got how an underrated Canadian became an NBA superstar, bro. You know, I'm just banging out videos, anything, bro. Just text me, comment down below, anything you want me to react to, game to, hit me up, whatever, bro. Trying to have fun with it. Without anything further ado, that's all. Into the video.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one of the most physically gifted point guards of all time. Standing at 6'6" with an enormous 7-foot wingspan, a killer first step, and a silky jumper, SGA is virtually unguardable. In the 2024 NBA season, Shai joined Michael Jordan as the second player ever who averaged 30 points, 6 assists, and 2 steals while shooting better than 50%
SGA is so
from the field.
tough, bro.
But just like MJ, Shai got cut from the varsity team.
He's just so consistent, bro.
In high school. This is the story of SGA, a forever underrated Canadian kid who transformed from a 4-star recruit to one of the best players in the world. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was born in Toronto to Vaughn Alexander and Charmaine Gilgeous, a former Antigua and Barbuda track star who ran the 400 meters in the 1992 Olympics. From his mom, Shai inherited athleticism, and from his dad, the love of basketball. Shai's dad was his first coach, who taught him fundamentals and took him to Raptors games to watch Chris Bosh. Shai fell deeply in love with the sport, always practicing and putting up shots on a garage-mounted basket in the family driveway. After his family moved to Hamilton, Ontario when he was 10, Shai joined a local basketball program called U Play Canada. But it wasn't like he was ever a basketball prodigy. At the age of 14, Gilgeous-Alexander didn't make his high school varsity team, which drove him crazy and only made him work harder. SGA started practicing privately with Dwayne Washington, the coach and founder of Uplay Canada, and it was Washington who started to carve Shai into the pick-and-roll maestro we see today. With Shai, it was a more cerebral approach with many hours of video and then practical on-court breakdowns. Washington said he had 27 different drills that specialized on the ball screen and running the pick-and-roll, and most of it was about pace. In your brain, you're counting to 5 before you get into the screen. By the time you get to 4, you have to know what you're doing. That's why a lot of guys in the NBA can't run the pick and roll. And the guys that can, those guys are the James Hardens and Chris Pauls of the world, superstars. And apart from team practices and private workouts with Coach Washington, Shai had another formidable opponent who always challenged him to play one-on-one. It was his first cousin, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who currently plays for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Nickeil was just 2 months younger than Shai, so they always challenged each other on and off the court. Having a brother my age who was damn near just as good at basketball, we used to go at it all the time. We've almost fought before, almost punched each other in the face, but we know it's all love. And that's why we're both at the stage we're at today. For their senior year of high school, both Shai and Nickeil transferred to Hamilton Heights Christian Academy in Tennessee because they realized they needed better competition to improve their basketball skills. But if you had to pick a future NBA player out of the two, most people probably would have picked Nickeil. When he first got to Hamilton Heights, Shai was a pass-first point guard who didn't look for a shot, mainly because his jumper was shaky. However, due to an insane work ethic, constant shooting, and the habit of watching film, Gilgeous-Alexander averaged 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists per game, which was enough to earn him a scholarship to the University of Kentucky. And when he arrived in Lexington, Shai was as underrated as ever, a 4-star recruit who was not considered a starting caliber point guard. Coach Calipari compared Shai's jump shot to Charles Barkley's golf swing because they both came with a hitch. But being underrated all his life, SGA was never discouraged, and he kept working and waiting for his opportunity. And after the first 15 games of the season, during which he usually came off the bench, Shai finally got a chance to start. When he did, he never looked back. By the middle of January, Shai was a clear leader on the team and kept improving his numbers across the board. However, when he had great games, his mother would call Coach Cal, letting him know to stay hard on her son and to keep him grounded. And it worked. In the final game of the SEC tournament, SGA had the best game of his college career, scoring 29 points on 10 for 16 shooting, with 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. When the NCAA tournament started, Shai was by far the best player against Davidson and Buffalo, leading the Wildcats to victory with an average of 23 points and 6 assists. But in the Sweet 16 against Kansas State, SGA shot just 2 for 10 from the field. Kentucky lost.
They contained Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Their help was good.
Despite that, Shai's improvement throughout the season was immense, and he finished the year averaging 14 points, 5 assists, and nearly 2 steals on 48% shooting from the field and 40% from 3. Thanks to his large frame, explosive first step, and strong defense, SGA showed plenty of promise to become a very good NBA player.
I want to let the world know that I'll be entering my name to that 2018 NBA draft. And I'll be signed with an agent.
But nobody considered him a sure thing. In a
That's
stacked
tough, though.
2018 NBA draft, Shea was drafted 11th overall by the Hornets, who immediately traded him to the Clippers for Miles Bridges and 2 future second-round picks. And when his NBA dream finally came true, his career started the same way as it did in college, on the bench. But after just 9 games, Clippers coach Doc Rivers decided to put him into the starting lineup. And once again, SGA never gave that spot back. He was a stable contributor all season, averaging 11 points on 47% shooting, with 3 assists, 1.2 steals, and just 1.7 turnovers. Even as a rookie, Gilgeous-Alexander was among the league's elite from the mid-range, making 48% of his attempts. Then, in the playoffs, he improved his scoring and efficiency, averaging 14 points per game, shooting 50% from deep. But the shorthanded Clippers lost to the prime Warriors in 6 games. And then, after the season, one man with a weird laugh changed the trajectory of SGA's career. Kawhi Leonard, the finals MVP, and arguably the best player in the world at the time, wanted to come home to LA to sign with the Clippers, and he wanted to team up with Paul George. Desperate to get Kawhi, the Clippers paid one of the biggest ransoms in NBA history to trade for PG-13.
4 first-round picks, 4 unprotected future first-round picks, a protected future first-round pick, 2 pick swaps, and outstanding rookie point guard Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Danilo Gallinari for Paul George.
OKC
That
had
is a
plans
lot,
to tank
bro.
that season in
That
order
is
to
a lot.
capitalize on all those picks. But
Obviously, though, I watched the NBA back then a little bit. I remember, like, people thought still the Thunder lost the trade. I mean, they thought Clippers won the trade. Obviously, you have PG and Kawhi on the same team. And at that time, it makes sense, you know what I
tutelage
mean?
of Chris Paul, SGA
But that is a lot
blossomed,
of
and suddenly
that's a
the
lot of
Thunder
stuff
had
for one guy.
arguably the best backcourt in the NBA. Shea averaged 19 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists per game. But what was most impressive is how cold-blooded he was in the clutch, shooting 58% from the field, and he led the entire NBA in clutch steals. He was plus 106 in clutch minutes, which was second in the entire NBA, behind teammate Dennis Schroeder. Shea's much-debated jumper had improved so much that he averaged 0.95 points in isolations, and his ability to score one-on-one was impressive when the game was on the line. His first step is unbelievable. It's really hard for anybody to keep him in front of him, and then he blows by you. And then again, he slows it all down to sidestep people, or uses athleticism, or make the right play at the end of it. On January 13th, 2020, Gilgeous-Alexander recorded his first NBA triple-double, with 20 points, 10 assists, and a career-high 20 rebounds in a 117-104 win over the Minnesota Timberwolves, becoming the second player after Russell Westbrook to record a 20-20-10 stat line in the last 30 years, and the youngest ever to do it. And even though OKC lost their first-round series to the Rockets in 7 games, SGA didn't disappoint, averaging 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists in the series. But in the offseason, the Thunder realized that they needed to get younger and start to rebuild, trading Chris Paul, Danilo Gallinari, and Dennis Schroeder to get high picks in the draft. Shea wasn't happy about it, but he went along with the plan of GM Sam Presti, believing in his vision. In his 3rd year, Shea became a clear leader on a super young Thunder team, averaging 23 points, 5 boards, and 6 assists per game, shooting a phenomenal 51% from the field and 42% for 3. However, after just 35 games, he suffered a tear
white
in his
OKC
foot
jersey
and was
is so
ruled
tough.
out for the season. This wasn't really a disaster, though, because OKC was
So
tanking anyway, and SGA was actually making them win more games than they planned to. And because they won more games, they had to settle with only the 6th pick in the draft, which they used on Josh Giddey. When the 2021-2022 season started, SGA recovered to start the year, but he struggled with minor injuries all season, playing in 56 games and marginally improving his numbers to 24 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists per game. But for the Thunder, it worked out because they got the 2nd pick in the draft.
The Oklahoma City Thunder select Chet Holmgren from Gonzaga University.
And they also took Jalen Williams with the 12th pick. And even though Holmgren got hurt before the season started and had to miss the whole year, the improvement from SGA, Giddey, and Lou Dort, and the stellar two-way play of rookie Jalen Williams showed that the Thunder was on the rise, and that Presti is one of the best general managers in the NBA. While the Clippers were praised when making the deal for prime Paul George, nobody could predict that the player they gave up for him would have a better season than both George and Kawhi Leonard, just 3 years after the trade. But that's exactly what happened. Under coach Mike Daigneault, The Thunder played completely positionless basketball, with versatile lineups where everybody could play with the ball in their hands, switch on defense, and keep up a high pace. And SGA is the main motor of the team that embodies all of their concepts. His long arms are a huge weapon on the defensive end, where he's become more active than ever before, which is especially impressive considering the amount of work he does offensively. Shai is a killer in transition, and equally dangerous in the half court, using his compact handle to get rid of opponents. And SGA's dribbling skills are an underrated and under-talked about piece of his game. While Kyrie and Steph handle the ball like dancers, and Ja Morant and De'Aaron Fox push the ball faster than anybody, Shai handles the rock like a metronome, precise, smooth, and always under control. His incredible ball control, especially while dribbling from behind, is one of the main reasons why Shai only committed 2.8 turnovers per game, despite having the 7th highest usage rate in the entire league. His handle allows him to be a brutally good scorer. See, most players
Dang, bro, wait, bro, nah.
Murray, they don't have that
Oh my gosh. No one is supposed to be playing.
Usage rate in the entire
God
league.
damn,
His
bro.
handle allows him to be a brutally good
Almost
scorer.
slipped off the court with that. Oh my gosh. Hey.
And in the 2023 season, Shai transformed into a player who can get buckets from anywhere inside.
Man, I gotta work on my handles, bro. If my handles get nice like this, it's over.
Assignments to cover his driving lanes and double him, which only made him grow as a playmaker. While his assist numbers didn't increase from the previous season, there was no doubt that he was playing smarter and putting his teammates in favorable positions. SGA averaged 31.4 points per game, shooting 51% from the field and 90% from the free throw line. For the first time in his career, he was in the top 10 in the NBA in points in the paint, averaging 15 per game, ranking first among guards. Defenses were helpless trying to stop him from penetrating. But where he made the most progress was knowing when to attack and when to use his deadly mid-range or force fouls. His bag of tricks contains many changes of direction, Euro steps, and shot fakes, which has become his specialty. His shot fake is so convincing because it's difficult to tell the difference between an authentic shot and its simulation. In both cases, Shai throws his head back and is in the same position as when he shoots. And because he knows how to force contact, SGA often forces fouls and gets to the free throw line, where he led the NBA in made free throws. And while most modern guards shoot plenty of threes, SGA plays like a 90s guard, taking only 3.6 threes per game, and dominating with dribble penetration, transition points, and half-court pick and roll, something that he practiced with Dwayne Washington since he was 13. Players that can raise the level of their game in this way are a rare breed. The jump from 24.5 to 31.4 points without an increase in three-point volume is reserved for a golden group of individuals. He finished second in most improved player voting. And when you add in his excellent defense, 1.7 steals and a block per game, on top of his elite offense, it's no wonder that he finally made the All-Star team, first-team All-NBA, and finished 5th in the MVP voting. However, just like his mother always insisted, Shai stayed humble and kept working, improving even more in the 2024 season. With the return of Chet Holmgren and further development from Jalen Williams, Giddey, and other young OKC players, the Thunder had finally arrived on the big scene. They won 57 games, their best result in 10 years, and clinched the #1 seed in the West.
They are the #1 seed out of the Western Conference. These dudes are something to behold and to be reckoned with.
What was most impressive for such a young team was their defensive versatility, as they ranked first in the league in steals and blocks. But even the most outstanding defensive teams can't win games on defense alone. And you always need a player who can take the ball, find the desired mismatch, and score when no one else can buy a basket. And Oklahoma has that in Gilgeous-Alexander. SGA scored 30 or more points in 51 games out of 75 he played in the 2024 season. SGA led the league in steals and free throws made, and was top 5 in nearly all advanced metrics. Shai finished 3rd in Clutch Player of the Year voting, was 7th in the Defensive Player of the Year, was unanimous first-team All-NBA, and finished 2nd in the MVP voting, behind Nikola Jokic. But most importantly, the Thunder won their first playoff series since 2016, as Shai led OKC past the Pelicans in the first round. And even though the Thunder lost to the Mavericks in the second round, it wasn't because of SGA, who was by far the best.
I'll be forgetting, bro, that, my bad, I ended right here, but 2014, bro, is 10 years ago, bro. So 2016 is 8 years ago. Like, that's blows my mind, bro. It's about to be 10 years and 2 years. That's crazy.
32, 8, and 7, with 1.2 steals and 2.3 blocks per game, shooting over 50% from the field and 55% from deep. With With the further development of Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams, the gazillion draft picks they have left, and their more than $30 million in salary cap space, the Thunder have the brightest future in the NBA and will be super dangerous in years to come. But OKC's rapid rise is largely thanks to the play of one man, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Mr. Consistent.
And though he missed out on winning MVP this year, he's a pretty safe bet to get one in the future. Thanks for watching Nonstop. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe. Check out.
All right, man. Thanks for reaction to the video. Thanks for watching. All right, comment down below anything else you need. Till then, see you on the next one. Catch y'all out.